flowers yesterday were amazing. We absolutely loved them, so thank you for sending them in. Today we've got a really gentle, lovely set of cherry blossoms. So we really hope that you enjoy drawing them. You can see I've actually even dressed up today to match my cherry blossoms. I love cherry blossoms so much. So really hope you enjoy drawing this with us and then painting, colouring it in whichever way you want. So today we're going to be doing cherry blossoms. So what I want you to do is on your, this is just the warm-up piece of paper, just do some little circles. They're not circles, they're like little ovals like this. And what we're going to do is practice petals and drawing petals in lovely light strokes. So what I want you to think about just for a couple of minutes as you warm up is keeping that wrist nice and loose. So we are not going like that. That's not what we're aiming for at all. We're aiming for these lovely light semicircles and these light marks coming round. If we go too hard, we won't be able to make any changes or rub it out. And we want to have these lovely, gentle, sketchy pencil marks. So that's just what I want you to practice on your warm-up paper for just a couple of minutes, and then we'll move on to the drawing. Start today by thinking about how we want to do this drawing. We're going to have 3 blossoms, 2 on one side and 1 on the other side. If you want to add more, absolutely go ahead. So we'll start with this one here, and I'm going to just put in that little semicircle, and then I want to have about 5 petals coming round. It's truly not a disaster if you want more petals than that. You can have as many petals as you want, because you could be doing a pear blossom tree whilst I'm doing a cherry blossom tree. Could be anything you want. But can you see I'm keeping those marks very gentle as I draw. Now, the thing with drawing, I've talked about this before, is drawing's all about practice. So just in the same way as if you're learning the violin or learning to play the piano, the more you practice, the better you get. And drawing's exactly the same. Some people, you might even hear adults saying this, really believe it's something that you're born either being able to do or not able to do, but that is not true. Everybody can do it. So I want you to have the second one about over here. We're going to join them at the next stage, but these lovely petals coming around, and think about leaving spaces between the petals as well, like that. 2, 3. I think this would be a very nice one to make into cards. I know lots of you did Easter chicks and made it into Easter cards to send it to people, to grannies and granddads and things. And I think this would be another one that would make a lovely card, a birthday card or something. And that's it's a really nice thing to receive a homemade card, I think, especially at the moment when we're struggling to get out to the shops. It's a lovely thing to send. In fact, I might thinking of making mine into a card for a very special person. Right, so here we go. That's making each of the petal sizes different. Can you see? I'm not aiming for symmetry on this because flowers aren't often symmetrical. So it's just a bit more interesting to put some different shapes in. But each one's smooth. So what I'd like you to do now is to pause the video and draw in your 3 little circles, each surrounded by your petals. Now put a branch, as if we've got a branch going right across our page. So we want it to be slightly wider at this end. So if we put 2 little marks at this end and then a little bit narrower up here. And I'm going to go to this part of my page. Now look at how gently I'm holding that pencil. Gentle, gentle lines coming up. And the same here. And I'm not doing it as one strong, bold line, just little gentle lines. And now I just want to, this is a really short one, this one, I just want to join the stems. So I've got there, and then that one coming around there, and this one coming here. So if you just pause, this will only take a minute, and we'll put in the twig, the stem. Now we want these little stamens coming out here. So I just want you to put in 3 very small circles in the top 3 petals there, and then we'll take that stamen down. And look, can you see I'm making the line a little bit bendy? I don't want it to be a straight line, just a little bendy line. And we'll do that up here. 1, 2, 3. They don't need to be in the middle of the petals or anything, or spaced out any way you want. And can you see that turns it into being just a little bit more sophisticated? This is our cherry blossom. Okay, now at this stage you can go off, you can use your pencils, you can colour it, you could put butterflies in it. If you stick with us on Thursday, Elizabeth's going to be showing you how to draw butterflies. So you could have butterflies in it, you could paint the background blue, you could do different things. I'm just going to do a few very simple painting techniques. So if you carry on watching, you can see how I'm going to paint it. Otherwise, get your crayons or your felt tips out, colour it in, and make sure you send us a picture on our Facebook page or our Twitter page or our Instagram page. We love seeing your drawings. Okay, so I'm just going to do this painting very simply. I'm using 2 watercolour pencils here. One is a pink and one is a burnt sienna. So what I'm going to do now is, rather than colouring them all in, I'm going to go around the edges of each of these blossoms, and as you can see, I'm putting lots of, can you see the tiny little bits that are coming out? That is the paint pigment. So that's what I want to be on the paper. I'm going to actually colour in the centre, and then I'm going to take that bit like that. So I'm keeping it really simple. Now I'm not going to blow that bit of, I was about to blow the bit of pigment away. I'm not, I'm actually going to use it like that. I'm going to grab it onto my brush and turn it into paint. So I'm not going to go all the way across. This is where you can be really delicate with these. I'm just taking my brush, touching it to the outside and bringing in bits of the paint. Can you see that? Now if I just have a wet brush with nothing else on, I go there, so it's paler in the inside and it is darker on the outside, which might not be exactly right for cherry blossoms, but I do think it looks very pretty. I'm going to be careful when I come towards the stamens because I don't want to really turn those. I'm going to keep them like that. I'm going to do that on each of them now. So just go around. Now these pencils really are brilliant, and we talk about them all the time, and it's something that we use in our charities work when we go into care homes and we give our art lessons to people who are living with dementia. On this one I'm not even colouring the stamens, and what actually we find is, because you get the effects of paint, but they're much easier to grip for people who might be struggling with pencil grip. Where they've been brilliant for children, and I'm saying this because I'm a mum, sometimes when you're getting the paints out it can be a bit messy. So I'm going to do this one second now. It can be a bit messy getting the paints out sometimes and take ages, whereas these don't take any time at all to get out because you've just got to get your packet of pencils out. But they work just as well as paints. You can actually be really accurate with them as well sometimes when you're painting. So you can see there's different ways you could do it. I could have put a lot more paint pigment on around the edges to make them a really dark pink, but I like that kind of cherry blossomy, nice cherry blossomy look. Okay, so I'm going to leave them like that. And then I'm just going to use my burnt sienna pencil, which is a lovely reddish brown, and I'm going to go around each of these to make the twig. I think it would be wonderful to absolutely fill this with cherry blossoms. You know, when you go under a tree that's packed with them. So I'm just going to do 3, but you really could do 20, 50. What do you think, Elizabeth? 100? 100, yeah. 100. Elizabeth thinks 100. So here we go. I'm just going to change that very gently to paint as well. So if you've painted yours, you can send them to us on our Facebook page or our Instagram or Twitter, or if you've used felt tips or colouring pencils, whatever you've done, we would love to see them. Hope you enjoyed that. I hope you had a really nice, quiet, gentle Tuesday drawing time with some cherry blossoms. That's what I was hoping for. So make sure you join us tomorrow. Got a special little treat up our sleeves for tomorrow. So tune in and you can see what we're doing then. But with your cherry blossoms, you could decorate the background. You can add more in. You could add birds. Everybody's got so good at frog drawing. Maybe pop a little frog even in there. But we will see you tomorrow for our special treat Wednesday.